Um, a lot of stuff, and it hasn't just been today. It's been, I guess, just leading up this past week. Looking through things through the social media, people are sending me stuff, so it's been great. Reminiscing through all the years that I spent here, the great memories, and the funny things that have happened while I was here as well. So I'm just really excited to be here. I know my wife and kids are as well, so we're looking forward to the evening.
When you look back on your time in Vancouver in particular, and you've had a lot of time to reflect on your career of late with the Hall of Fame and things like that, what does the stretch that you spent in this city mean to you, and how did you grow as a player and a person while you were here?
Well, it was the most important stretch of my career. I think I was when I was in my prime. We had a great team. We were in the playoffs. We made a run to the cup. Played in the Olympics in the city, which is unbelievable when you think about it. That it all came together like that. So it's a huge, huge part of my life. Always will be.
Roberto, congratulations again. During those difficult times towards the end of your time as a Canuck, would you ever have envisioned that you'd be having a night like this a decade later?
I mean, the difficult time wasn't at the end. I thought it was pretty, was pretty happy at the end. Everything was great, but yeah, you never know, right? You don't really think about that stuff when you're in it. I guess you always want to leave a good impression. That the goal when I played. I mean, I always wanted to be the best. Didn't matter what year it was, whether it was my rookie year, even my last year when I was 40 years old. I was still striving to be the best goalie in the league. That was just the way I was built. So some fantastic years here in Vancouver. Like I said before, I think those are the years that I was in my prime. So I'm glad that that it is getting recognized because this city holds a special place for me, and I always look forward to coming back.
And I know you spoke at the Hall of Fame last year and earlier about regrets, and that if you could do things over, you might have handled things differently. It worked out in the end because you go home to Florida, but did you ever regret the actual trade request and wanting to leave?
Well, it wasn't a trade request, so I don't know what the story is, but it was more of a mutual with Mike Gillis. I think Corey was coming on, and we had a discussion at the end of the year, and it was. I think we decided that it was best, if I think I moved on and Corey was the guy. So it wasn't really a trade request. I think it was more of a mutual decision. And at that time, Corey was lights out. So obviously I obliged, and we tried to work together to work something out.
Lou, just curious, you're famously competitive with the Twins in particular. Yeah. You're responsible for Panthers goaltending. They're responsible for the second Canucks power play unit.
I just found that out, by the way.
Yeah,
why the second unit?
If they, is it extra important that your penalty killers get it done tonight?
Well, goalies got to get it done. So I'll make sure that give them the scoop on the Sedin play that they don't execute that against us tonight.
When you think about that group that you were with and sort of look around the league, whether it's them coaching, you running goaltending down in Florida, and on down Manny behind the bench in Toronto, Kevin on a panel, and see sort of the impact that all those guys you played with and competed with here are sort of having around the league. What made that group so special? What continues to make that group so special?
It's actually it's amazing, right? I don't know if you mentioned Burr, Burr Montreal. So it was a special group. I mean, we had, it's like every other locker room, but I think guys really genuinely loved each other, cared for each other, tease each other all the time. I remember countless ping pong tournaments, cards on the plane. Really tight group, and the fact that now you see them sprinkled a bit everywhere around the league is fun because then I get to see them, I get to see them when we're in Toronto. I get to see them when I'm here or wherever it is. But it's nice that they stayed in touch with hockey and in the league, and these are memories that we built together for all those years that live on, and we, whenever we see each other, we always like to reminisce a little bit.
Hi, I think I'm
Hi.
next. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you talk about how your social media alter ego that you developed here in Vancouver kind of changed things for you?
Yeah. I mean, it did, right? It was kind of I don't know exactly how it kind of happened, but it did. And it was just a way for me, I guess, to be myself. Maybe I was a little bit guarded when I would talk to you guys mostly in my earlier years, and couldn't really, for some reason, not be myself. And that's something that I learned maybe later on in my career, how to deal with that kind of stuff. But it was just an outlet for me to be myself, and I think it helped me deal with a lot of these things. And people took a liking to it, and then one of the guys on the team, I guess, kind of let the cat out of the bag, and kind of blew up from there. So it was actually something that is pretty impactful in my life when it did happen.
Yeah, and it's something you maintain to this day,
Yeah.
on and off too. Like,
Yeah, not
what
as
do you
much.
get? What do you get out of it? Yeah.
Now that I'm in management, I gotta kind of choose my words a little bit more. But it's fun, because like I said before, I mean, it's not just about me tweeting, but it's just about like an outlet to be in touch with people. People send me stuff that like, oh my God, that's right, or I see it never. Like for example, yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw the caricatures. I'd never seen those when I played here, and they were awesome. They were amazing. So I was looking at them yesterday, and it was just brought all the memories back. So those types of things, those are amazing things that wouldn't have been possible if I didn't start the account.
Roberto, the one thing you think about of you here is the Lou chants, and I know it seems kind of obvious, but there seem to be levels of Lou. Like when you made a great save, it was like echoed throughout the building. It was really cool for us. I just wondered what it was like for you to hear that. I know it happened a lot, but what was that like for you?
It's great. I mean, as a goaltender, the two things that I loved is when you're home and you make a great save, the people go nuts for you, and then the other thing that I love is when you're on the road and you make a great save, and just the gasp, like people gasping, like, oh my God, like how do you save that, or they didn't score? So it's just like a warm feeling that you get, right? And you want to deliver that for them as much as you can. So just watching some of the saves online over the last few days, you hear the crowd, so it makes it pretty special.
Have you done anything in management where people start doing Lou chants as well?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if they're looing or booing, but no, I mean, it's a little bit more difficult, when you're in management, but those are things that stick with you,
Hi, Roberto. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I was just wondering, with your family being here with you tonight, especially, how much does that sort of bring you back to your life and how your sort of maturity happened while you were living in Vancouver? Are there any sort of memories of places that you guys went or things that you did off the ice that have sort of bubbled up since you came back?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we got in late last night, so we haven't really had a chance to like walk around and stuff, but we're actually looking forward to it. We're going to stick around for another day or so. We're gonna reminisce a lot. We're gonna go back to where we lived and all that kind of stuff. Walk around downtown. They're really excited to be here. This was a big part of our lives. My daughter started school here and all that kind of stuff. So it's always fun to be here, but not to be here back with them for the first time makes it extra special.
Those 2 years as captain, we talk about the social media and how that evolved for you. When you look back now, what did those 2 years as captain teach you about yourself, teach you about, how to compete?
I mean, well, first, I think those, there's been a lot of talk about, whether it was a mistake or if I regret it, or, I mean, I wear that as a badge of honor. I think it's one of my most proudest accomplishments as a hockey player. I mean, no other goalie can say they did that. So when you have that sort of, accomplishment per se that nobody else has, it kind of makes it feel a little bit extra special. So, I mean, listen, it wasn't easy because there was a lot of work involved as far as, commitment and that kind of stuff. And that's why sometimes maybe it impeded with the position. But I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change any of it. It was great. I loved being part of it. And I also love the fact that when I was done, I handed it off to Hank. So that was actually nice because he was ready for it.
And then just at the end, the decision to officially retire. Not a lot of players do that with long contracts. What went into your decision as opposed to just doing LTIR as so many?
Well, that wasn't my call, unfortunately. So I would have loved to go on LTIR and make a few extra dollars, but that was it wasn't my call. But at that point in my career, it was a tough year on the ice and off the ice as well. It almost had become a job just to get ready to go on the ice, and that's what I didn't like about it. It's just so much time making sure that my body was ready to perform. And then when I did get on the ice, the performance level wasn't as high as I would have liked it to be. So when the season ended, I wasn't quite sure yet what I was going to do, to be honest with you. I was still debating because I kind of had a good last couple months of my career, of that season. So I was debating coming back or not. And once the month of off was gone, it was time to get back in the gym. That's when I was like, well, I don't know if I'm ready to get back in the gym. So it was a tough decision because everybody wanted me to play another year. All my friends, family, they all thought I should stick it out for one more year. But there was something telling me that it was time to hang him up, and that's what I did.
Roberto, what are your memories of 2006 when you got traded to the Canucks and your reaction to coming to Vancouver?
Well, I remember I was at home with my parents in Montreal. It was draft day, and I remember my contract was up, and I was trying to get a deal done with Florida, and Mike Keenan was the GM at the time. So I was trying to get something done. Ultimately, at the last hour, I had agreed to the contract, but the trade had already happened. So I was kind of surprised. I didn't know much about it, but I know my parents had some very good friends that live here. So given that I was at my parents' house already, they gave me the lowdown and started researching on the computer. And I mean, what can you say? It's the most beautiful city in the world, I think. And just getting here and living in this city for 8 years and being part of the community was great. I mean, the rain maybe a little bit, but other than that, everything else was fantastic. So couldn't have asked for a better place.
Hey, Lou, congrats on the night here. Time marches on, obviously 14 years since the Olympics.
Yeah.
When you think back to that gold medal game, like how vivid are the memories, or is a lot of it just sort of a blur?
I only remember the last play. So, and I watch it all the time because it always comes up, right? And I don't want to say too much because a lot of it has to do with my speech tonight, so I don't want to give everything away. But when the goal happened, I just remember like there was so much pressure right in that moment, given that it was the Olympics in Vancouver, Team Canada. I just felt like such a huge weight lifted off your shoulders because we wanted to get this done, obviously, and we wanted to get it done on home soil. And it's just a euphoric feeling when the goal went in.
It was an incredible line in the moment, but with the benefit of hindsight now, did your contract suck?
Well, I don't even know how to respond to that, but I'll just give you a little bit of the background over that. I literally 15 minutes before I came out found out that I wasn't getting traded to Toronto. So it was a little bit emotional at that very time. Didn't really have time to regroup, and obviously, the contract didn't suck, but for certain reasons it did. Yeah, I just remember it being so emotional in that very moment just because of what had transpired 15 minutes prior that I wish I would have had a few more minutes to maybe gather myself before I went out there.